Hi everyone, thanks for watching. I'm Erica Williams. I'm an artist and board member here at Art Sanctuary, and today we're talking with Lisa Fry, co-founder and president of Art Sanctuary, along with Edwin Ramirez, studio artist here at Art Sanctuary, along with the Radio Arcane Music and Art Collective. So hi you all, thanks for talking with me today.
Hi.
Hello.
Than's for having us.
Yeah.
I'm really excited to be here
Yeah.
in front of a large studio audience.
Yeah, thanks COVID.
So today we're going to be talking about the history of Art Sanctuary, its role in the community, along with the pandemic and how that's affected Art Sanctuary's current state and its future as well. So Lisa, could you talk a little bit about when Art Sanctuary was founded and how it got its start?
Yes, we've been around for a long time now. It's been about 16, 17 years actually.
Wow.
And it began in my living room. A group of artists got together and we realized we had graduated from college and we were artists and had nowhere to show our work. There weren't any local places back then. They didn't have the coffee shops and all of the accessibility to art that they do have now. So we decided to create our own space, and I had a dream since I was a little kid of creating a safe place for artists. The name Art Sanctuary came very naturally because of that. And like I said, I knew all of these artists that had amazing work under their beds, and they didn't have anywhere to show it. So we decided to start having these pop-up art shows. So we would do an art soiree every quarter. When we began, the first one was at Adorno Studios, which was way in the West End. Packed, awesome. We had about 30 visual artists that were all local. Great food and wine and music, and it was just a great conglomeration of local artists and just the energy of them coming together and finding a place to do their work was magic. So we've been together ever since.
Wow, 17 years, that's amazing.
It's a long time, and there've been many incarnations of it, certainly. But we became a nonprofit, and now we have a large space where we have artist studios. We have about 40 artists here right now, and we actually have a waiting list, which is awesome. We do performances here. Well, at least we did before COVID. Now we've been a little stagnant. We do live streaming things, though. So we've been having late for dinner here on the weekends. Crate and Barrel, Jeff Jobson has been hosting those, and Frankie Steele is there doing the sound. We have Langdon Smith doing lights, Robert Major doing, he does a multitude of different tech things. Amazing. Yes. So that's something new that we're trying, just to kind of still bring art to you guys out in the world. Because we can't really have people in here right now. So
Yeah. Okay, so what was the first event that you remember going to, Edwin? I know you've been kind of involved with Art Sanctuary for many, many years. You and Lisa go way, way back, right? We're all sitting here drinking wine. I want to hear some stories about how this all got started. What was the first one you remember going to?
So, if I'm not mistaken, and I know we've talked about this before, but I can't remember the name. It used to be like in the basement of a winery.
Oh, Riverbend Winery.
Riverbend Winery. Okay. I must have been
It was really
15,
close to
16 years old.
I think it was on 9th Street.
On 9th Street. Okay. Sweet. Yeah, so I remember seeing this band called 9-Volt Revolt, and that was kind of my introduction to industrial music. And it was really exciting and fun because I was trying to find my music taste and my place. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, Shawn had artwork that was being shown there.
He did.
And so I had met Shawn a couple times before from a venue named Some Cheese, but I used to be a little bit afraid of Shawn. He used to be a little scary, you know, and I was like, wow, like what an interesting man. And then like I saw his artwork.
This is my beloved husband who's speaking.
And, you know, his artwork was amazing. And so I remember, you know, watching 9-Volt Revolt and looking at the dolls and the wands that he was making back then, and it was just, I don't know, I kind of found my home. And then I was introduced to you not too long after that, but we really didn't actually like become friends until my really early 20s.
Just a baby.
We did there was a fashion show that we did together on Story Avenue where I DJ'd at, and it just kind of went from there.
Yeah.
And we've been friends ever since.
Yes.
And having this space, I mean, this has literally been a sanctuary for me and my creativity. And, you know, there has been no other place in Louisville where we can have these wild ideas and, you know, get to talk to folks that, you know, are open to hearing, you know, what we might have to offer and help us, you know, get there. And I think that's a really important part of not just this space, but Louisville culture in general, because so many creative projects and bands and, you know, just ideas have been birthed here. And I would love to hear more stories about, you know, all the other interconnecting artists throughout our city who have had experiences, whether it be physically here in this building or, you know, at the other incarnations of Art Sanctuary in the past. Like, it would be really great to hear that and kind of collect those stories.
Yeah, I'd love to hear some of those too. And I think you touched on a really great point, which is one of the things I love about Art Sanctuary is that it kind of collects the weirdos from the fringe, right? Like, it's definitely not a mainstream place, right? It's definitely more of like a grassroots DIY, a lot of, you know, working class artists. You're not going to see a lot of frills at Art Sanctuary, right? So let's talk a little bit about the people and some of the artists we have here.
Well, and that's been a very meaningful part of this, because it's not, Art Sanctuary isn't just visual art. We did a storytelling series for years at Molly Malone's. So like we had a literary arm, we have drawing classes, we have of course the studio artists. But we also have Baba Vixens, which that's another thing that I manage and produce here. We've been around for over 10 years, so, and that's a whole other thing. Erica does a lot of the beautiful like background decoration stuff for that, which is incredible.
Yeah.
And we can talk a little bit about the space now too, right? Because as you said, there's been a few incarnations of Art Sanctuary, but now that we're in our permanent location, you can't see I'm sort of gesturing around, but we're in this like massive warehouse right now. Can we talk a little bit about some of the facilities that you have here on site at Art Sanctuary?
Sure. This is a 26,000 square foot building. We've been here for almost 10 years now, and started with Frankie Steele found this building, and he wanted to create a make space in here. So he started with one room up there, and then gradually went around the building until the whole space was done. And we have had a roller coaster of things happen since the beginning of that, for sure. But it's been a wild ride, but we have finally established our space here. We have a gallery, we have a 10,000 square foot venue area, which we hold all kinds of shows. We do weddings here, we've had bands play here, we've done art shows, we've done fundraisers, all kinds of different events. So, yeah.
I remember coming to you, had to have been, maybe 10 years ago now, wanting to throw a party, like right around the time when I first met Robert, so it had to have been 10 years. And I remember there being semi-trucks parked in this room.
Yeah, it's a big room.
And you were like, one day we're going to turn this into something, and I was like, good luck.
Yeah.
Like,
and a lot of people said that. I mean, even the fire marshal looked at me at one point and said, you will never be able to make this work. And through my tear-stained face, I mean...
Let's cheers to that. Never get it done. Come on.
Well.
Yeah, I mean, what has been accomplished here is incredible.
Yeah,
And
I mean, and without Frankie doing, like, so much work, I mean, he's incredible. Like, the stage that we're sitting on right now, he built alone, like, with his bare hands.
Wow.
Yeah. Like, I got the stuff donated for him, but he freaking built this whole thing by himself.
Yeah, and you guys have even made improvements within the last year or two, right? Like, we're constantly sort of iterating and adding things to the space. So what are some of the improvements or upgrades you've made in the last year?
Well, the bar has been expanded like twice the size that it was. And then we also have gotten a lot of new lighting. So because of COVID, we've actually gotten some live streaming equipment that we wouldn't have gotten. But I think that's going to be something that we carry over even after COVID, because it's really cool to be able to live stream things. So
absolutely.
Yeah. So
a lot of it's been donated, right? So it'll be when somebody's going out of business, they say, hey, Art Sanctuary, can you use, 5,000 square feet of tile carpet, and y'all are like, sure, we can find a use for it, right?
Absolutely.
Kind of going back to that, grassroots sort of vibe.
Scrappy is the word that I've always used to describe Art Sanctuary. It's scrappy. It's like started in a living room with the first event that we had. I used my credit card to fund. So it's like we had no money. We still don't really have any money, but we're making awesome things happen in spite of that, because it's not really all about money.
Right. And I mean, you walk into this place and you really can see and feel like the love that has been woven into all of the parts and pieces, especially, if you're somebody who has frequented this place, like every time you come here, there is something new.
There's something different, Things have been moved around. There's more installed art.
Yep. Like, oh, the bar got bigger, and holy shit, now you have a giant light rig. Just like all these great improvements.
Chandeliers,
Right. For sure. This was an empty room, and it was disgusting, and now it's really kind of cool. So.
Yeah. No, it's amazing. So you've done great, and the team who has helped build this has been amazing.
It's been mostly volunteers, right? I mean, Art Sanctuary, there's not a staff. Well, there's, 2 people on staff? Right? Yeah. Everything else is all volunteer effort, which I think is amazing. So if you ever get a chance to see the space, you'll just be blown away by how much is going on. There's just art on all the walls, all the studios upstairs. It's just an amazing, amazing space. And it's all volunteer driven, right?
It's all volunteer driven.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So now that we're not really using the space so much anymore, right? I mean, we're sitting here on an empty stage inside of a room that's hardly getting used anymore because of the pandemic. So I do want to talk a little bit about how the pandemic has affected Art Sanctuary, in the last 6 months.
Well, we had the biggest year ever slated. I remember the last event that we had here on March, I think it was either 6th or 7th. And it was a wedding, and it was wonderful. People had the best time ever. But that's when we heard the news that there was a case here in Louisville. So we had to shut down. And I just started getting a barrage of emails of cancellations and wanting to reschedule, but no one knew when they were going to reschedule. I've got a stack of contracts that are just going to be like at some point. So it was devastating.
I mean, we were booking into 2021, right? Absolutely. I mean, this year was just almost completely booked up.
I had an amazing Vixen show scheduled for the summer. It was crushing. I mean, and it's terrifying, really, because we worked so hard for this space, and to lose every bit of revenue that we have worked so hard for, and hopings of building this place up even more. I mean, just for it to be ripped out from under us was huge, and I know we're not alone.
Yeah, absolutely. And, the folks that really put everything they have into creating something, like we all feel that. And, I mean, from the Radio Arcane collective perspective, that's a nice
collective perspective.
We had multiple events that were also booked here. We had Convergence, which was
huge. That would have been huge. Yeah, that was supposed to be in May.
What was Convergence?
Yeah. Convergence is the largest North American goth music and art festival. So it's like goth and industrial music, and we had been hitting the ground running the second that we won the bid for bringing the festival here.
So many amazing bands were going to play here.
You're expecting hundreds of attendees, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
From across the country.
Hotel books for the festival itself for our guests to be able to stay in, and I mean the amount of hours for just all the logistics and the planning that go into making not just a single day event happen, but a whole weekend. So
a music festival.
Right, yeah. I mean, and that was us really trying to figure out something new because we've never done anything that big before.
And it was so exciting.
And terrifying.
And terrifying, too.
But we were ready. Like, we were getting there, and it was exciting. And then it was like...
So, everyone has their story of how this pandemic has affected them. And I think it's definitely important to now be able to acknowledge it and, say, like, this has really sucked. And... all find ways to move forward together and heal from it, and then, as a community, like how this space was built, lift each other up and
help each other, right?
Move forward because there's literally no other option.
And one of the main reasons that we're even sitting here still is because we've been so lucky to have people care enough to throw us their extra pennies here and there. I mean, we've done some Facebook fundraisers, birthday fundraisers, and things like that, just to kind of keep the bills paid and the doors somewhat open. It's like, I won't let people turn on the air conditioner or anything. But, I mean,
You got to put a deposit down if you want AC.
It's like, you want to turn on the AC? I need $20.
Right.
Yeah, it's a big space.
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah, so, obviously donations are kind of where I mean, it's a nonprofit, so tax deductible, write that shit off. You can, donate your money to a good cause and have it be a tax, incentive as well. Mm-hmm. Well, now that we're in this pandemic, right, and we're not really using the event space, it feels like Art Sanctuary has become more of that sanctuary for the artists, right?
Mm-hmm.
The only thing that we're really fulfilling with our mission is to keep these artists here and have them, allow a place to escape from, their houses, right? When everybody's mostly, homebound.
Stuck there, yeah.
This can be a great place to kind of get away and clear your mind and find your creativity and connect with others. Even if there aren't big events going on, we still have our resident artists that are really important here, right?
And they've been working their butts off up there.
Yeah.
I mean, there are people here staring.
Yeah, I know. We're like looking at them back there. Everybody's trying to see what's going on. We do have an audience, it seems. Well, I think that's probably about it. I mean, is there anything else that you want to close out with? Things that you wish people knew about Art Sanctuary that maybe don't?
Yeah, well, I think if you have never come to an event at Art Sanctuary, you miss out. But there's definitely a lot of effort to kind of push what is happening here out into the community more with the live streams, with a stronger social media presence and
fundraisers. We're going to have definitely some fundraisers coming up, so share those, ask your friends, even $5, $10.
Right.
Every little bit helps and it all adds up.
It really
absolutely.
does, yeah.
And that's why this place needs your support, because we wouldn't be able to do it without the community that attended the events, without the community that showed up and just like helped make some of this stuff happen, whether it be them setting up lights. It takes away so much from like the few people that run everything that happens here. And so we're asking for support, and we want to include as many people as we possibly can, safely, of course. And so this is why it's going to be starting as an online campaign. And I hope that, within the next year or so, we get to come out of this pandemic and everything that's been happening in the world right now, with moving towards just having a better and brighter future for not just the artists in this space, but our quality of lives in general. And there are the quality of life of a lot of people that do come here and do use this space as a sanctuary. Is very important, and important to me as somebody who just volunteers and is here to
just volunteers,
glue things together and occasionally throw a party, before a pandemic happened.
Yeah, so. You may have heard of Bjork Ball.
Oh my gosh, that was amazing.
That was a lot.
That was
a lot of work.
That was,
but it was so
transformed this entire space. It was unbelievable. Mm-hmm. I know there are a lot of pictures online.
I want to do another one.
Yeah, one day. We'll be able to do things again one day, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And I want everybody to be there. So.
Yeah.
You're all invited.
Yeah. So donate so that you can come to our party in 2027. Hopefully it won't be that long, but you never know. We're in it for the long haul.
Yeah.
So we're going to keep asking.
Yeah.
So
like we're not going to give up.
Yeah, we're not going anywhere, right? And I think that's the point too. You said scrappy earlier, and I love that word because I feel like that embodies so much of the.
I've used that word for years about this place.
Right, it's the heart.
I mean, it's my heart first of all. I'm a scrappy ass bitch.
I love it. It's great. Yeah, and like. I
mean, if you have to be able to make something out of nothing.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Absolutely, and we have this joke, like Linda. She makes so much. She's an art sanctuary artist here. she makes so much work out of recycled materials, and I do the same thing too.
So do I.
You know, it's so does Erica, and we've
This
just
is all made of trash and pipe cleaners.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so
That's my
you know,
secret.
the Waste Witch Collective.
Yes.
You know, just turning things, just collecting materials and making something out of trash or nothing, you know, or just like a little spark of an idea. You know, it's it happens, and it has happened, and I would love for it to continue to happen.
Yeah,
well
we're gonna
into
make
the
it.
future, so.
We're gonna make it. Cheers, you all. Thanks for talking today.
Cheers.
Cheers. Well, thanks for joining us.